Hello friends, I believe you have already revised the earlier session of basic principles governing audit and the audit program. Today we are going to see the next part. After audit program there comes an element called as an vouching, which is the first step, which is already mentioned in the audit program as well. We have already seen in that also. So vouching is an activity wherein the documents and books of accounts are checked and cross verified with each other. Later on we'll see it in detail. Next concept that we are going to see today is the verification. We are going to verify various items such as assets, liabilities, our incomes, our expenses, everything we are going to verify. And then we are going to value our assets also and value our other important factors as well. So let's see today vouching, verification and valuation in detail so that the initial stages of auditing will be covered today, which will help us to complete the first stage of auditing, which is very crucial in nature. If these three items, that is vouching, verification and valuation, are done efficiently and tactfully, then there are maximum chances that the errors and frauds are removed out of the books of accounts. So books of accounts can be made error free and mistakes free with the help of this, and a proper expertise and the proper experience may also help us to remove the elements such as an fraudulent activity or any other facts which are present, but they should not be in the books of accounts. So let's see today these three elements in detail. So let's see what's the concept of vouching. What is vouching? Vouching is the procedure that we are going to follow in the audit process. And this procedure is going to be followed right from first day. We're going to vouch the items right from the first day of our auditing activity. So here it also involves authorization and the creditability of the entries that are entered into the books of accounts. So this is what the meaning given, but let's discuss it. Vouching is something confirming the books of accounts on the basis of the documents made available, which are the supporting documents. So just for an example, if I am verifying, if I am vouching, that is I am checking the purchase transactions of a business. So in that case, I have to take a purchase invoices with me, and on basis of those invoices, I have to verify whether whatever the supplier has mentioned in the invoice is being recorded into books of accounts. First of all, I have to verify and I have to check whether that invoice which is presented before me as an purchase invoice is correct or not. Correct in the sense, I should first of all verify its authenticity, its correctness, its validity, and then I have to cross check the item with the entry that is being passed in the books of accounts. So in short, I can say that vouching is something which is an investigation by an auditor for the documents that are presented by the firm to check the correctness of such documents. So whatever these documents are presented, these documents shall be verified whether they are correct or not, and such procedure of checking their correctness is called as an vouching. Let's see what are the types of voucher. Let's go into detail. So I can classify my vouchers into two categories. First is primary voucher and the other one is the collateral voucher. So primary vouchers means the basic vouchers. For example, if I'm expending something, then the bill of that particular expenditure. If I'm paying off the salary, then the salary muster may be there, like the roll call register may be there, or the any basic documents such as purchase invoice, sale invoice. And the collateral vouchers means in connection to this primary vouchers, I may require some additional vouchers which are supporting to it. For example, I have purchased goods and I have purchased them from out of my state. Then I may require transportation or a lorry bill. Then these are my supporting vouchers to that purchase invoice. The next classification that I can do is the internal vouchers and external vouchers. Now, what is internal voucher? Internal voucher is something which is prepared within the organization, and the external voucher is something that is received from the external parties which are not within the organization. Say, when I'm purchasing something, so whatever voucher I receive is called as an external voucher. When I sell something, then in that case, I prepare the voucher, so that may be internal voucher. Say I am transferring some goods from one department to other, or the service by one department is taken up by the other department, then this voucher is just stating that I have rendered this much services to the other department, then that amounts to the internal voucher. So accordingly we can classify the vouchers in either or type. Either I can call them as an primary and collateral, or I can classify them as an internal or external vouchers. What are the objects of vouching? Let's see. First objective is to ensure that all business transactions are only recorded. We are not recording any transaction which is not related to business. So we'll be recording everything which is related to the business. After that, next comes to check the accuracy of posting and casting. What is posting? When I first of all pass on the journal entry, then it should be further posted to the ledgers. So such posting has to be checked, and casting is the totaling of the ledger balances or the journals as well many of the times. So actually nowadays these errors are not happening until and unless there is no loophole in the ERP system or the software, because books of accounts are nowadays not maintained handwritten. They are done on the systems with the help of various software. So until and unless there is any problem in the software, these errors are not occurring. But then too, it is an responsibility of an auditor to check this accuracy which is relating to posting and casting. Next is to ensure that responsible person has verified the records or not. So it is very much important. Say for example the payment is done beyond 50,000 and an accounts department clerk is not having the authority. Then which person is having that authority shall be checked by the auditor or the auditing staff, and then it has to be verified that yes, the responsible person has done the activities, or the person who is not responsible is conducting the activities. So it is very much important to remember to verify the responsibilities of the person involved in the organization and to verify whether such responsible persons are only carrying this activity. Next objective is to make the financial records free from malpractices. Free from malpractices means there should be no what you can say representation into the books of accounts. Malpractices means they should be free from any errors, or errors are okay, they happen erroneously like without intention, but there may happen that there are some fraudulent intention people which may involve some fraud in the books of accounts. So such malpractices should be identified and removed from the books of accounts. This is the primary duty of the auditor. So vouching is going to help the auditor to make the books free of malpractices. And the last item is to make sure that a law has been followed while preparing the financial records. Say for example, we are auditing books of accounts of a company form of organization, then it is very important that we concentrate on the legal aspects or the legal requirements that are mentioned in the Companies Act 2013. If we are auditing books of accounts of partnership, then we should check whether the requirements given under Partnership Act are being followed or not. If we are doing it for LLP, then we should go for the LLP Act. So accordingly we should follow, and we should check whether such statutory requirements are being followed while preparing financial records or not. And otherwise, if they are not followed, then it becomes very difficult to frame a legal opinion, or the legal requirements that are being expected from the auditor cannot be fulfilled. Let's see what are the importances of vouching. So while vouching, an auditor performs, and the entire activity that is going to be reported depends on the voucher. So vouching is the critical stage in the entire audit procedure. Then the person who is responsible to authorize such vouchers shall also maintain such vouchers properly. So only responsible person can do these things. It can be associated with them for checking fairness also. Like I may also ask, I want to check whether such expenditure was actually incurred or not. It may happen that not actual values are being found in the documents or in the books of accounts. It may happen. So the accountant, I mean to say the auditor, has an authority to check the fairness of the vouchers as well. Then the frauds can be detected if the vouching is done in the proper, intelligent and the tricky way. If it is not done efficiently, then it may happen that even audit staff may get away from this fraudulent activity. So it has to be done in very much intelligent manner. Also, for preparing reliable final accounts, it should be done accurately, because even a small item may impact the balance sheet as well. So all such vouching activity has to be done very much efficiently, and then we can say that yes, it is reliable, and then only we can reach on to any accurate decision. It is an ethical duty of an auditor for arithmetical and substantial accuracy. It may happen that in one specific voucher, the expenditure which was mentioned was regarding at least 15 to 20 items. Then it may happen that there may be some arithmetical inaccuracy, or it may have any problems. So it is a basic duty of an auditor to check all these activities. It's an ethical duty. What are characteristics of vouching? Let's see. The characteristics of vouching can be mentioned as these. First of all, it is an imperative aspect of auditing. Imperative aspect means it is an basic aspects, like yes, audit means vouching. The basic activity involved in audit is vouching. If you are not vouching properly, it means you are not doing your audit activity properly. It is based, it should be like basis of auditing, because vouching is going to form an base, like whatever will be the final opinion of an auditor will be impacted by the vouching activity. So it is going to be a basis. Then drafted evidences, because when the vouching is done, most of the evidences can be uh, reached, or most of the evidences can be created in this activity only, because this is the primary and the substantial activity that is involved in the auditing. So it is going to draft evidence for the entire activity. Then it is going to disclose extortion. It's going to disclose many of the activities which are done wrongly, or which are done fraudulently, or whatever the activities are. So if it is done fairly, it will disclose the fair view. If it is done fraudulently, then it's going to review a fraudulent view. Then it is going to report business activities only, the most important part, because as we are going to account only business activities, so auditing has to be also done only for the business activities. So it's going to report the business, and no secret transactions. So with the help of this, there will be no secret transactions involved. And the last one we can say it is the course of voucher. Course of voucher means it's going to give us the entire plan of action wherein the entire vouchers are mentioned and entire vouchers are involved. So these are all the characteristics of vouching which are going to help us in the entire activity, and this is going to be the crucial aspect in the entire vouching. Let's move further. The next concept is verification. What is verification? It is an auditing process where auditor satisfies with the actual existence of the facts and involves checking of assets and liabilities in the financial position. So it's going to involve these all activities and is going to verify the assets and liabilities. So verification is in process which is going to have involvement of various facts and is going to check various assets and liabilities. So we can in short call verification as it is usually conducted through the examination of existence, ownership, title, possession, proper valuation and presence of any charge of lien over assets. So it's going to state whether my assets are free of any charge or whether they are having any charge. So that is also going to be an important thing that I am going to conduct during my verification process in the entire audit program. What are objects of verification? Let's see. To show the correct valuation of assets and liability. I am going to check whether my assets and liabilities are properly valued or. So on correct valuation of assets and liabilities, I go further to know the fact whether my final accounts are showing fair and true value or not. So I need to check whether my assets are having fair value, whether they are valued at a correct and true value or not. Then to know the ownership and existence of asset. It may happen that there is actual ownership with some other person and not with the person who has engaged me as an auditor, not with the person or not with the entity of whose auditing I am conducting. So first my duty during the verification of assets and liabilities is I need to first of all check the ownership of assets, at the same time existence of asset, and same procedure should be followed for liabilities as well. It also involves detection of frauds, errors and misrepresentation. If there are any frauds, if there are any errors, if there is any misrepresentation, that has to be detected in the verification stage also, as like in the vouching stage. It also involves finding control on acquisition, utilization and disposal of assets. And it involves the checking arithmetical accuracy of books of account as like in vouching, because it may happen that due to arithmetical inaccuracy I may reach up to the wrong values and that may not amount to fair and true value of my assets and liabilities. And lastly, it includes to ensure all assets are recorded properly. Like it may happen that there are few assets which are not recorded at all and there are few assets which are recorded at higher values. So that may create a problem. So that is one of the objective where I am going to fulfill during my verification activity. Then comes my next concept, valuation. Valuation is finding correct value of assets on a particular date. Valuation is something and one step ahead the verification. In verification I come to know whether the asset is of the client only or not. Like the ownership and the title and the actual physical existence is checked in verification. But in valuation, I check the actual value or the correct value of the asset on the particular date. Then I verify the value of asset in proper manner, like it is an act where I'm going to determine the value in the proper manner, in the specified manner, and then I'm going to critically examine such value. Okay, once I have derived a value, I'm not going to what you can say accept it blindly. Then I'm going to have its critical examination as well. Then on the basis of normally accepted accounting principles, I will verify whether they are accepted values or not. Then without valuation and verification of asset, it is not possible. Let's see a few definition of valuation. Valuation is defined by R. Bartley Boyd as a company's balance sheet is not drawn for the purpose of showing what the capital would be worth if the assets were realized and liabilities paid off, but to show how the capital stands invested. Balance sheet is not something which is going to show okay, how much owners are having net worth in the business, but it is going to show that how capital is invested, how efficiently it is used. So this is something which is defined as by the theorist R. Bartley Boyd. Then we have one more definition which is given by Joseph Lancaster. The person says, the theorist says, the valuation of asset is therefore an attempt to equitable distribution of original outlay on the period of asset's usefulness. Means it's like the entire life of asset is found as useful and how the equitable distribution is done, how it is efficiently used is mentioned into this. So valuation is something that in regards to asset. Objectives. What are the objectives? The first objective is to assess the correct financial position of the concern. Then it ensures the mode of investment of capital. How the capital is invested, as we have seen the definition that its valuation is not just going to show the net worth of the capital invested, but how the capital is invested. So valuation is going to inquire regarding the investment mode of capital. Then it is going to assess the goodwill of the concern, how the business is being conducted, what is the goodwill of the business, what is the creditability of the business in the market. Then it is going to evaluate the difference in the value of asset. Difference in the value of asset is like why the variation is there in the value of asset as compared to some previous reports. Then it's going to evaluate that difference as well. So that revaluation may be due to various reasons. It may be appreciation, it may be depreciation in the value, but the difference should be evaluated as on the date of purchase and on the date of balance sheet as well. So we'll verify the value right from date of purchase till the date on which we are supposed to report such books of accounts. So we can say that how we are going to value the assets. So assets can be valued in these categories like cost price method, like what was its cost. Then next can be the market value method, like what is its current market value. On basis of that also we can value our assets. Then comes the standard cost method, like otherwise with the help of the various set out standards in the industry, how we can value our assets. Then it is a book value. Book value involves various realizations and revaluations made, various depreciations charged and etc. things. Then it's the token value. It's the specific scientific method of valuing the assets. And the last is the scrap value, because many of the times it may happen that due to end of life of the asset, we may possess that particular asset, but still we have not yet discarded that, disposed of. So we may carry on such asset as at the scrap value also. So these are the methods on basis of which assets can be valued. So these are the various methods on which the assets can be valued. So this is an entire what you can say, the process how we are going to conduct an audit, which we need to understand in the basic stages of audit only. So first we'll have some primary discussions, then a proper audit outline will be drawn, then engagement will be done with an auditor, then few analysis, testing, interviews, observations will be done. So this is the critical part, right from engagement till the observation, discussion, management agreement. This is the critical part of the audit, and after that a primary report is being framed by an auditor, and with the concern the final report is prepared. So this is the rough audit program we can call as, and how audit is being conducted. This is the rough idea. Hope you have understood the basic concepts that we have discussed today in relation to the auditing. And auditing involves various aspects as we have seen today, right from vouching, verification, audit program, everything. So in case of any doubts, you can reach me on the links provided. Thank you so much.